We've got a great fucking program in store for you today. I don't even know how I can explain what's coming. It's gonna fuck you up. It seriously is going to. You're like, yeah, fuck us up! But I'm not joking. It's specifically been designed to fuck you up. See, for the last 90 days since the last live quarterly meeting, while you've been busy implementing and growing and working on your business, we've been sitting around thinking, how do we fuck these people up? And you need to be fucked up. Because we've got to break the old to make room for the new. We got to kill your ego. We got to kill your excuses. We got to break your old way of doing things so that we can create a space for new habits, for new ways of thinking about things, and most important of all is new actions. Because the beliefs, the thoughts, the notes, the instructions, the how-to, none of that matters. None of that is going to make a difference without action. My challenge for all of you this quarter coming up, and you're going to feel some extra pressure this quarter because this is our challenge to our team also, is to make sure you get one thing done in the next 90 days that dramatically drives your business forward. We're not going to let you hide out in a big long list this quarter. We're not going to let you hide out in overwhelmed. You can't be overwhelmed if you just have one fucking thing to accomplish. Right? We're going to make sure you get one thing accomplished and that it's something that meaningfully moves your business forward. Some of you are new. Who is here for the first time? Welcome. Look at that. I want to assure you, welcome you, and assure you that everything we do is coming from a place of love, sincerely. It is. We are very committed, sincerely, all joking aside, we are committed to give you love. We are committed to give you security. We are committed to give you self-esteem. In every way we can, in every interaction with our firm, we are committed to do that for you. We are not here to get our love from you. We are not here to get our security from you. And we're not here to get our self-esteem from you. Now, if you haven't had a lot of experience working in a professional relationship with a firm that is committed to giving you and not trying to get from you, at first, I have to tell you, it'll fuck you up a little bit. Because we're going to tell you things that you might not like to hear. We're going to tell you things that are going to sometimes make you not like us. Show of hands, and I'm going to ask you to keep them up for the second question. Show of hands if at some point in our professional relationship you have not liked me very much. New people, pay attention. New people, pay attention. Some people have two hands up. Some people are like asking their neighbor to raise a hand for them. But I like him. No, I need to borrow your hand. Keep your hands up if your business is better off today because of our relationship. You see that, new people? Thank you. Put your hands down. I'm not here to get your love. I'm not here to get you to like me. I'm not here to manipulate you into giving me compliments. I'm not here to get my self-esteem from you. I've done all that. And you know where I was when I did all that? I was fucking broke. I was seriously hardcore can't pay the mortgage, lost the house to foreclosure, living in a shitty little apartment on the side of my mom's house with my wife, broke because I was giving all this great advice away to try to get self-esteem from other people and to try to get appreciation from other people. And the worst thing about it, worse than even what it did to me, was what it did to them. Because it did a tremendous disservice to the people I was giving the free advice and giving everything away to try to get self-esteem from them, because I wasn't really committed to helping them get results. As long as I got my little self-esteem, I was happy, and I would disengage from the relationship or disengage from the, I would let go of the fight. Today is all about sales. Sales, 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 sales. Every quarter, we pick a different topic, we go an inch wide on that topic, and we drill a mile deep into that topic. This isn't like a variety show where we're trying to show off how smart we are and how great we are and like impress you with like a little bit of marketing and impress you with a little bit of management and impress you with a little bit of financial controls and sprinkle a little bit of policies and procedures on there so you walk away and say, wow, they know so much. We don't give a fuck if you're impressed with how much we know. That's not how we build our business. We build our business when you build your business. Our relationship, and we're committed to this relationship, is to be your managing partner. We are the managing partner of your business. You're still the president, you're still the owner, you still make the final decisions, but we are the managing partner of your law firm. And like all good managing partners, we want our money. We want our bonuses. We want growth. The way we grow our business is by making sure you grow your business. You can grow your business financially, and or we can help you grow your business personally, and or we will help you grow your business professionally. Whatever is important to you, we'll help you grow your business in that way. And as far as we're concerned, all is fair in love and war. And we're in a battle for your full potential. And it is a vicious, nasty, unfair, not politically correct battle for your full potential against your ego. Your ego wants to feel good. The way that your ego feels good is by remaining in its comfort zone. The only problem with remaining in your comfort zone is your comfort zone keeps you trapped where you are financially, keeps you trapped where you are in terms of your control over your time, keeps you trapped where you are in terms of what you're able to accomplish with your business professionally. So your ego desperately wants to preserve and defend and justify and stay in that comfort zone. And your full potential requires you to obliterate that comfort zone. Your full potential requires you to take all of your excuses and shove them up your ass. And nothing is harder for a lawyer to do than sales. Because sales really puts your ego in an uncomfortable place. Sales puts your ego in a place where it risks being rejected, where it risks being devalued, where it risks being insulted, where it risks being accused, where it risks all kinds of things that your ego doesn't feel comfortable with. That's what happens when you put yourself out there in a sales conversation, which is why most people don't really engage in sales conversations. Most lawyers that you know who are struggling financially, big part of the reason why they struggle financially is because they don't actually engage in sales conversations. What they engage in are ego gratification sessions, aka a free or initial consultation, where, tell me if this sounds familiar. Prospective client walks in the door, lawyer is like, oh shit, you got a knot in the pit of your stomach, you're feeling nervous because you might not have any idea about your financial controls. You might not have a budget. They might not have a cash flow projection. They might not have budget variance reports. They might not have any kind of real long-term projections for the revenues of their firm, but they can look at their bank account and know, I don't have money to pay the rent next month. I got payroll coming up. And they've got this desperate, vulnerable feeling in the pit of their stomach. And they look at this prospective client just like one of the cartoons that we used to watch as kids, where the starving guy on the deserted island in the middle of the ocean sees the other character and sees like a ham bone. And they see the prospective client come in, and they look at that prospective client, and they're like, that's my ham bone. I could get money from that person to pay my rent next month. And now they're in this vulnerable position where they need to get something from the other person. And the whole relationship is completely out of kilter. And the prospective client walks in and says, and by the way, because the lawyer does shitty marketing, which is beyond the scope of this live quarterly meeting, but I just have to put it out there. Because the lawyer does the wrong kind of marketing and prepares the client to expect to meet with a lawyer, and because the marketing says, come in for a free consultation and we will solve all your legal problems for you in your free consultation because we need to get you into the office by telling you any lie that we can. The prospective client walks in expecting to meet a lawyer to talk about their legal problem. And then the lawyer sees the ham bone come in, and the client dumps the legal problem in front of the lawyer. And what does the lawyer do? The lawyer does what lawyers are trained to do when presented with problems. The lawyer starts solving the problem. The only problem with this approach is that this isn't a sales conversation. This is a half-assed attempt to solve someone's problem badly. Because you can't solve important problems for people in 1 hour. You can't. And so the lawyer spends an hour, well, more like 15 or 20 minutes, because first the lawyer has to tell the prospective client a whole bunch of irrelevant things that the prospective client sincerely doesn't care about. Thanks for coming in to see me. Let me bore you with 20 minutes of my greatest hits. I went to law school here. Client's like, I don't care. I have these bar awards. Client's like, how's that going to help me? And I've been practicing law for 35 years. Prospective client is like, all I need is for your attention for the next 3 months so you can solve my problem. I don't care about the past. I only care about my future. And after the lawyer has bored the client with his or her greatest hits for 10 or 20 minutes, then they say, so what brings you in here? And the client says, I have this problem. And the lawyer says, great. I've been trained to identify issues and come up with solutions to those issues. Now I'm in my comfort zone. My ego feels in control. This is familiar to me. And so the lawyer starts getting to work on fixing the problem. And since you can't actually fix a problem in a 1-hour consultation or even a 2-hour consultation, what the lawyer ends up doing is showing off. Let me show off all the different ways that I could solve this problem. Let me tell you, let me do for you what my law school professors wanted me to do for them. Because how did we get good grades in law school? Say it? Spotting issues. And what? And arguing both sides of the issue. That's how we get a good grade in law school, isn't it? And that's exactly what lawyers do when they meet with prospective clients. And then they say to the prospective client, now that I've spotted all the different issues, and I've cited all the cases and statutes, and argued both sides of every issue possible, Give me my grade and hire me. And what do the clients say? Like, I don't know, 80% of the time for most lawyers, 90% of the time for most lawyers. Come on, all together now. Let me think about it. What the client's really saying is, I am confused. I don't understand what you're talking about. You just took me on a really uncomfortable tour of the sausage factory. I wanted a hole drilled, and you gave me the schematics for the electric drill. I don't need to know the schematics for the electric drill. I just need a hole. And what does that do to the ego? Pounds the shit out of your ego. Because we were taught all through law school and all the CLE events you go to, and every time you sit around with other lawyers talking about, life, you're taught to get your self-esteem from being a great lawyer. And it's like, I don't understand these stupid clients. And now your ego starts to take refuge in blaming the client for your failure to effectively sell legal services. These stupid clients, these cheap clients, these irrational clients. And your ego takes a beating. Does anyone here like to do something that's really uncomfortable? I don't. Does anyone like doing things that are painful? I don't. Does anyone like being insulted and criticized? I mean, I don't. And when you begin to associate sales calls, meeting with prospective clients as being painful, what are you going to have a natural, even unconscious tendency to do? Come on, you know the answer. Avoid them. You're going to avoid them. So, when times are good and revenues are high, I don't need to do sales calls because I'm flush with cash. I can't meet with prospective new clients. I'm too busy working on cases for current clients. It's a great place to hide out, isn't it? How many of you have hidden out there before? Yeah. Most of you. And then, of course, the cash runs out because you finish working on the client's cases or matters. And then what happens? You come back down into this vicious cycle that's now been set up of famine. So when it's feast, you're not actively driving your marketing. When it's feast, you're not actively pursuing your sales calls. When it's feast, you're finding ways to hide out because the reason it's feast time is because you've got a bounty of work to do. And so you can hide out in that work. But doing that sets up, what does it set up, everyone? Feast sets up famine. Who's done a mastermind? Who's done sell from the stage? One, two, three. Drag out the dead bodies. Start all over again. Feast. Feast. Who's been sale from the stage? Sell from the stage? Who's doing stage time? Who's already set up to do stage time? Those of you who are at Sell from the Stage, the other workshop that we're doing was stage time. Remember the one you all begged us for? Any of you? Do any of you have any recollection of the fact you gave us $4,000? They're having amnesia. Grab their money. All right. For those of you who are new, let me explain what's happening here. We're very transparent in everything we do. And when I fuck with you, when I train you, I actually stop and show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm actually showing you what's happening on stage so that you understand. This corner of the stage, by the end of the day tomorrow, you will not be able to help yourself from believing and feeling that this is feast. And what did I already start doing over there? How many times did I make that famine? What's on that side of the stage? How does your ego feel over there? Bad, right? See how I'm doing this? All right. Just sharing some stage tricks with you. All right. So what happens is you're in this vicious cycle. Here's the problem. The problem is most law firms are stuck in a vicious cycle. And the vicious cycle is that when times are good, it's feast. And they hide out in the work, and they turn down the crazy clients, and they don't accept the work they don't accept crappy cases from crazy clients for less money than they should accept. We've all been there? Yes? And then they hide out in the work, and they wait too long to get back into the sales calls because the sales calls are painful and uncomfortable. And then they end up in a place of famine. And now when the crazy client walks in the door, what do? You take the case anyway. And when they start telling you that you charge too much, what do? You lower your prices. And now that you've taken bad work from crazy clients for less than you should charge, not because you're so great and you deserve more, but because the economics of the case simply require a higher fee than you're collecting. Now that you've taken crappy work from a crazy client for less than the case requires to be profitable for your firm, what happens next? What happens to your stress level? Stress level goes up. What happens to your state of mind? State of mind goes down. What happens to the pressures on you? Pressures magnify, right? So it's not a vicious cycle that goes like this, nice and steady, where you have your ups and you have your downs, and you have your ups and you have your downs. It's not like that. You have your ups, and then you have your down. And then your up is a little not as high as the previous up, and your next down is a little worse than your previous down. And then your next up isn't quite as high as the previous up, and your next down is even lower. And then your next up isn't quite as high, and then your next down is even lower. Does this seem familiar to anyone? Is it starting to make anyone uncomfortable? It should. There's a better way. The better way is to get you out of the way. The better way is to get you out of the way. It's to get you out of the sales role. To get you out of the sales role, we got to first get your ego under control. And we got to get your thinking straight about what selling legal services is actually all about. We got to get you thinking clearly about what the clients want versus what lawyers would prefer that the clients want. See, there's a lot of really smart lawyers who would prefer that the clients want what the lawyer would like them to want, and they want it so much to be that way that they lose sight of reality. And the reality of the matter is the client doesn't really care about how smart you are. And the client doesn't care where you went to law school. And the client doesn't care how hard you're going to work. And the client doesn't care how dedicated you are. And the client doesn't care about all of the accolades that other lawyers have given you. And the client doesn't care how long you've been doing, how long you've been practicing. What's the one thing the client really cares about? Themselves. The client cares about themselves. And they should. And you can't take that personally. None of you are here for me. You're all here for yourself. And each and every one of you is here for a very different reason. We've got over 300 people in the room right now. This is our biggest live quarterly meeting ever, by the way. It's awesome. We had our team meeting on Thursday or Friday. I'm losing track of the days at this point. We had our team meeting, and we had more people in our team meeting than we had at the first live quarterly meeting. I'm not joking. We had more people in the team meeting than we had at our second and third live quarterly meeting. It's amazing. And it all comes from, I can trace it all back to one single decision that I made. Actually, two. Okay, three. The one decision, the most important decision in all seriousness that I made was I made the decision to start making decisions from where I wanted to be and not making decisions from where I was. Because where I was fucking broke and unhappy. And as long as I kept making decisions from the place of being broke and unhappy, guess where I stayed? Broke and unhappy. I made the decision to begin making decisions from where I wanted to be. I made the decision to start making decisions as the owner of $1 million business. I started making hiring decisions as the owner of $1 million business. I started making marketing decisions as the owner from the place of being the owner of $1 million business. I started making decisions about clients and members and work to accept versus clients and members and work that I wouldn't accept, as if I already had $1 million business. And that was the first decision I made, and was the most important decision in the whole journey, sincerely. The second most important decision I made was to hire someone to replace myself as the person delivering technical services to our members. It'd be the same thing as you making the decision to hire an associate to replace yourself, as opposed to hiring a baby lawyer to assist you. I can think of at least three people in this room who I was there when they made this critical decision, and today their business is over $1 million. And at the time, their business was maybe $100,000, $150,000. And the critical decision they made, and they almost made the mistake. They were about to hire a baby lawyer to assist them, and it was either me or a member of my team, and we advised them, don't hire a baby lawyer to assist you. For not much more investment, you can hire a grown-up lawyer to replace you. And that made all the difference. Raise your hands if that happened for you. Okay, I can think of I wasn't thinking of all of you, but there you go. More than a few. And the third decision I made, and by the way, that was in 2011, and that was when I made the decision to add Henry Harlow and then Brian Motter to our team. They've been with us since 2011. And then the third decision I made, which really threw fuel on the fire and began to propel our growth, and this is where we went from $200,000 in revenue, and we tripled to $600,000 to $1 million to $1.7 million to $3 million to $4 million, 800,000, and this year we're gonna get pretty close to $7 million, and next year we're gonna bust through $10 million. And this all happened because I made the decision to hire someone else to do sales. That was critical. That way, when I was out doing CLE speeches, there was still someone back in the office making sales. When I was on vacation, there was still someone else in the office making sales. When I got sick, Say it with me. There was still someone else in the office making sales. When I was down and depressed and worried about cash flow and feeling really shitty, there was still someone else in the office making sales. When I was so frustrated with our policies and our procedures sucking shit that I wanted to lock the doors with everyone inside and burn the fucking place down. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. All of our new employees are like, opening up their laptops right now, refreshing their resumes. When I was in that state of mind, does anyone ever felt that way? Yeah? Guess what? There was still someone else in the office making sales, right? Building the business. Come on. You do your hands, I'll do my feet. Like a machine. The machine keeps going. The machine protects you from being a regular human being. The machine protects you from your highs. The machine protects you from your lows. The machine objectively doesn't take C, D, or F clients because the machine isn't programmed to take C, D, or F clients. The machine only takes the square peg of the right size and dimensions that fits in the square hole that you require to hit your financial projections and make them come true. The machine is objective. The machine is measurable. The machine is reliable. And when the machine breaks, guess what you can do with the machine? You can fix it or you can replace it. But when you're the machine, your entire business depends on your mood. When you're the machine, the entire business depends on your state of mind. When you're the machine, the entire business depends on how busy you are. And here's the big paradox. Who thinks you're really good at sales? A few of you. Come on. A few of you are really good at sales. A few of you are very good at sales. Don't be shy. I'm not going to tell you you're not good at sales. Okay. There's more of you who should have your hands up because I know that there's more of you in the room who are really good at sales. I'm really good at sales. I have a much higher conversion rate than anyone on my sales team. My conversion rate when I'm on the phone speaking with prospective new members is probably about 50 or 60%, which is really good, certainly for my industry. A really good salesperson working with me is going to have a conversion rate of about 1 out of 3. So I'm converting like basically, what is that, the math? 1 out of 2? I'm converting 1 out of 2. Thank you. Thank you for the math assist. I'm converting 1 out of 2 because I'm really good at sales. And a really good salesperson on my team is converting about 1 out of 3. So what is that, about 50%? I'm doing about 50% better than the best person on my sales team. You follow? But guess what? I've got 3 people on my sales team. See, the 3 of them crush me. The 3 of them crush me even on my best day. And they completely put me to shame on my worst day. And what's worse than put me to shame? There's crush me, put me to shame. What's worse than that? Bury me? You like that one? And they bury me when I'm on vacation. Because when I'm on vacation, you know what my conversion rate looks like? Nothing, because I'm on vacation. And while I'm on vacation, They keep making sales. That's why this business keeps growing.